Blessed ones of the nations of the world, one more time, thus is your brother Dan Moses, or say Yausakodia of TRC Ghana, coming to us with a continuation of our expose, Testimony, New World Disorder. But before we begin, we want to welcome each other by saying Akwaba, Allen, Sahalen, Shagitam, welcome, Inganjoni, Benvindo, you are welcome, Kuso, Diwo, Tusanyu Senyon, Okukulaba, Mauya, Mingalaba, Boye, Malamu, Karibu, Ekabo, no, O, Sanu, de Zua, Enkwang de Hena, Mitash, Duburo, Pezaluvat, Bini Ivinit, Barigalus, Vita Iche, Ayubon, Dobridoya, welcome, Istan, Hozut, Walang Aluman, bienvenido, namaste, Swagitam, Kus, Amadid, Baruch, Haba, Marhaba, Huang Yong Haminida, Huang Ying, Nyejeko, Anamime, Nyejeko, Wezolo, Novio, Mia Wezo, Akwaba to the program. Testimony, New World Disorder. Testimony, New World Disorder is the program through which you get to know what is happening to Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world in these times of global deception, delusion, and willful lies that are made up by some of the very people that we trust to be there for humanity and the nations of the world. Yet, for almost 2 decades now, in worship of the extremely dangerous U.S. undercover agent Daniel Jezebel Babylon Caesar, they have dealt with humanity and the nations of the world by willful lies, deception, and delusion. And they have brought humanity and the nations of the world into this total global helplessness, with Ghana and America being the centers for the global evil pursuit. The government of Nana Addo Baumia, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, traitors within the office of the Secretary General Antonio Guterres, they are pursuing an evil agenda, secret agenda, with the ulterior motive of seeking to take over the ownership of the souls of the entire human race. That is what they have been doing to us for almost 2 decades now. And everything we see in our present world, they are all part of their diversionary tactics to shift our attention from what they are doing to the human race in secrecy. So you are in a moment that you need to make up your mind whether you let the soul thieves take over the ownership of your soul and lead you to damnation in hellfire, or you make the maker and the owner of your soul, you take over your soul and lead you to glory in eternity in the kingdom of heaven. Akwaba to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. Christ Jesus is my Lord, and I gladly declare him and recommend him to you. Akwaba to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. This is expose part 32. Taking back our nation and our franchise. Taking back our franchise and our nation. Taking back our franchise and our nation. Expose part 32. Being recorded on the 13th of November 2024. For the day, the 14th of November 2024. Akwaba to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. So, humanity and the nations of the world. In expose part 31, we have been brought to the understanding as to how the worshippers of the extremely dangerous U.S. undercover agent and their cronies in Ghana, the government of Nana Addo Akufo, they are dealing with us so treacherously, religiously, and have been taking over the judiciary hostage by by the pursuit of religious treachery against the Ghanaian people. Now, the cathedral which Nana Addo Akufo claimed that he promised God to build for him if he wins that election 2016. It's a lie. Right here on this channel, I shall give us a sure proof that that cathedral that is talking about is not a cathedral. It is a vision that God gave to his son, an orphan, to establish, to pursue. And Akufo Addo, due to hatred for that orphan, stole the vision and made a fool of the Ghanaian people that he has promised God to build him a cathedral, thinking it was a cathedral. And God wanting to make Akufo Addo a global reproach, shame him for the sake of that son of his, has said in his word that there shall be vision thieves in our life, in our time, when they steal the vision. In the book of Daniel, he said, those that shall steal that vision, and they shall seek to establish it, and they shall fall, they shall fail. God, because of his love for his child, has purpose to make Akufo Addo go down history as the worst president in the history of the world because of his hatred for one child of God whom Akufo Addo hated to seek to kill and touched. Bible says, whosoever touches the own of God, you have touched the very apple of God's eye. That is why the so-called national cathedral agenda has totally ended in damnation of Akufo Addo and those that aided his hands in that establishment of the stolen vision. Akwa to the program, Testimony, New World. Here, on this channel, we shall make the evidence available to the shock of the Ghanaians and the world. Blessed ones. You see, the worshippers of the extremely dangerous US undercover, due to their anti-Semitism and hatred, they have dealt with the Ghanaian people so treacherously to the point of taking the EC hostage in worship of the extremely dangerous US undercover agent, taking the judiciary of Ghana hostage, and it is so bizarre. They think that there is no brain in the head of the Ghanaian people. And this dealing of the Ghanaian people religiously, so treacherously, religiously, have been so ugly that they have no shame. You see, in Ghana, Christians, Muslims, Judaism, traditionalists, Rastafarians, whether we worship or do not, we do not engage in religious rifts, battles and rancors and fighting of each other. It is possible for a Christian group to have issues, problem, division, for there to be a split, like CAC, Reverend Dr. Anoyebua had, and his church got splitted. It is possible for Muslims to have problem against another Muslim, for them to battle out, to sort out. But for Christians to attack Muslim, Muslim to attack Christian, Christian to attack traditionalists to attack Muslim, we don't do it. It is not part of us. So the truth is, the anti-Semitic state-sponsored terrorists that has been raised in Adankope for terrorism, cowardly secret terrorism, to the murder of my brother, and to the emboldening of Hamas for Hamas terror attack on Israel. It was not those state-sponsored terrorists. They are not Christians. They are not Muslims. They are not traditionalists. They were recruited from all Ghanaians, from various tribes, from various political parties. You understand? None of them is belong to the state-sponsored terror group because he's a Muslim or he's a Christian. No, they exploited us all. Understand? Okay. And it is the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, together with the worshippers of extremely dangerous US and the who are pursuing this anti-Semitic agenda, troubling Israel, Palestine, Gaza, humanity, and the nations of the world. They are doing that evil. Traitors within the office of the Secretary General Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and they did that to the murder of an innocent Jewish child on the soil of America in 2011. Let's get that clear. Okay. So, having understood this, because Christians and Muslims, we exist peacefully and excellently, Mahamudu Bawumia knows that if he takes his religious, divisive, ugly politics to the Muslims to go make a fool of them, they will not give an ear to him. They will not give him that chance for a moment. So guess what Mahamudu Bawumia did? He pushed political button and put his ugly religious politics on the face of Napo, his so-called running mate, to go stand on the political platform amongst Muslims and try to create a rift between them and Christians, and claim that whoever is a Muslim and votes for John Dramani Mahama, who is a Christian, it is haram. It's an abomination. It's an curse. So they should not vote for a Christian. Mahmoud Bawumia will not dare go tell this nonsense to the noble people of Islam. They will not take it from him 1 second. So the worshippers of the extremely dangerous US undercover agent, after the Trump winning the elections, this is how ugly they have gone with their division and exploiting the Ghanaian people religiously. At the same time, this week, Mahmoud Bawumia himself infiltrated the church, Catholic diocese, and while Napo was trying to make a fool of Muslims, he is also trying to make Mahmoud Bawumia himself has tuba and trying to make a fool of Christians. The Catholic diocese, Mahmoud Bawumia has made it his slogan. It is possible. What is possible? It doesn't make sense. And I've been telling the Ghanaian people that it is possible doesn't make. In life, nothing is possible without God. So what he's talking about is possible. It is stupid talk. All he's saying is the agenda to get him imposed on Ghanaians, they're robbing us of our franchise. They have thought about it in a private closet, in their political chambers, and they have realized that the Ghanaian people are so gullible religiously. They can play us and rob us of our franchise and give it to him. So that is possible. They decided that in the closet. You see, it is possible means that to Bawumia, you can be a Muslim and eat pork, although it's against the religion. To Bawumia, it is possible for his government to endorse and support gayism, sodomy, for a man to put his manhood in another man's word, anus. That is possible. You understand? But because I have been calling on the Ghanaian people that that it is possible, it doesn't make sense. It means any evil or good, it doesn't make sense. So Bawumia infiltrates the Catholic diocese and he too bad, plays smart and tried to make a fool of the church. He told them with God, quoting the scripture, now he has too bad. As Napo is fooling the Muslims, he's also fooling Christians. He's telling them that with God, all things are possible. So go talk through now. Ghana, America, and the nations of the world. You see, when these politicians are speaking, that which evil decisions they make in closet, God takes them in their own craftiness, and once a while, their evil thoughts, intentions, and purposes proceed out of their mouth. You understand? It is God who made Napo go talk that in Kwasi and made Mahmoud Bawumia also go infiltrate the church and think that Christians and Muslims and do their will and impose. Ghana, acquire to the program testimony, new world disorder. You see, because we are in a point where we need to put our redeemed mind, the mind that God put in the head of the Christian, Muslim, Ghanaian people, is of use, and we need to use it. I want us to start thinking about this. Suddenly, Ghanaians were told Ekwadonko is dead. That was a nice paving of way for the EC to either reduce the Agenda 13 in worship of the extremity regarding the presidential candidates. However, the running mate of Ikwadonko, he's called Roman Father, not Bernard Mona. In Expose Part 31, we mentioned as Bernard Father. Roman Father was the one that was treacherously relegated by the EC on the 12th of November 2024. So we must understand that. So the the running mate of Ikwadonko has been relegated, and EC has played a treachery that is going to keep the presidential candidate ballot papers, the positioning as it is. And because if they reduce it, it's a shame. They increase it, it's their shame. So God has taken the craft in their own craftiness. Now, because the kind of death that Ikwadonko died smells foul, smells political treachery, it's the death that call on the heart of Ghana to start thinking about it. What is this? It smells to the doors of the worshippers of extremely dangerous US undercover, the EC, the Supreme Court of Ghana, the worshippers of the extremely dangerous US undercover. So, I want us to think about this. You see, in Ghana, my local secret codes has been many. We have Okonfuanochi. There is also Mahama, that is used as my secret code to talk over the heads of the Ghanaian people. Sometimes they use Akufo Addo. Sometimes they use Martin Amidu because of my fight for justice. Okay. And one other is Ejapa, because of how much I have resiliently, consistently fight for the freedom of my children, the love I have shown towards my children, my nation Ghana, and the human race. They called me Ejapa. The extremely dangerous US undercover, some of secret code them locally amongst the political fear, when they are using political language. One has been Mena. Okay, I will explain that later. Also, Pusigan, and other is Ikwadonko. Let's take all these three for now. There are others, but we need to understand. If you want to explain the Pusigan, you see, the Pusigan is used because of her excessive whoredom, to have engaged in whoredom to the point of going to seek to get me kidnapped and lynched, and while she was engaged in extramarital cells for 40 years, done abduction of her children. You see, pussy in America is the female genital organ, and ga is a local language, so they have to blend the two, pussy, ga, so that the Ghanaians will not understand. There are many people in Ghana who don't know what pussy is, and our Americans don't know what ga is. Pussy, ga, if you put the two together, you want to interpret it, it is huge female genital organ. It talks about what the whoredom that she plays, that nothing fills her whoredom, that she plays whoredom to seek to get her own husband killed. That's why they use the pussy gun to talk. She's discussed many times in Ghana, but they don't have to let it diplomatically. When we are talking about her or we are talking about me, it has to be over the head of the Ghanaian people. So they do that very often. In the same way, Ikwadonko is one of her secret code. It is derived from the fact that she's an African American. Excuse me to say, the African American was taken hostage from Ghana as slaves. You understand? And being that she's an African American, you have to use Donko means a slave. You understand? And Ekua is the Ghanaian local name. So Ikwadonko is used often to talk about her over the heads of the Ghanaian people. Ghana, why do you have to know this? You see, in Ghana, the vindictive members of the government of Nana Addo Akufo, the traitors, they believe that they are the supreme Ghanaians, super Ghanaians, and we, the rest of the people of Ghana, we are lesser Ghanaians. Understand? So we are slaves to them. That is why in 2017, 2019, a whole Akufo Addo's High Commissioner to South Africa went to stand in South Africa and told the world in relation to his political party members that they are more Ghanaians than we, the people of Ghana. Nonsense. Understand? They have no regards. They think that they deserve every good thing in life. They deserve to rule over the Ghanaian people. Whether you are called Nkrumah or you are called John Evans, Fifi Atamils, and they don't, because you don't belong to them, they will not let you. They will destroy you. Understand? So, in pursuit of that supremacy position of theirs, they don't see Ekwadonko as their equal. They see him as a slave. You understand? And they have coded her with the extremely dangerous US undercover agent. Ghana, we are getting to the point where we want to call on the family of Ekwadonko to understand that Ghanaians, when you think about the kind of death that you are telling us he died, it doesn't make sense to us. We know the EC and the Supreme Court, they are all playing ugly game to seek to cover up the Agenda 13 shame, and they want to reduce the number of presidential candidates on the ballot, and they want to increase it, and they don't know, they are confused because they were exposed here. And then suddenly, he told us one is dead. And then they took over the media and were pouring sand into the eyes of the Ghanaian that there was a daughter of Ekwadonko who was present when she died. Why? What are they apprehensive of for them to do that? We should not forget, when they have killed Reverend Dr. David, they took over the media and started brainwashing Ghanaians the same week, making a fool of us that Reverend Dr. David Campbell, after all, he was not a good Christian. Using the media, they were telling even he was a Muslim. If he was a Muslim, who gives you the right to murder him in the house of God? Shame. America, according to the program, testimony, he was Ghana. You see, I tell us this because the government of Nana Addo Akufo, they have no regards for life. They exploited an orphan in 2023 to seek to set her up to get her destroyed. In their quest to get me killed, they set up an orphan, and it took God for me to stand in the gap for the orphan, and God redeemed her soul, and the death fell on my brother. They killed my brother instead of the orphan. The same week, on the 9th of November 2024, they set up the orphan when the orphan has given an assignment on her behalf. They were seeking to get her killed again. And in the night of that 9th of November, I had to respond to the worshippers of the extreme dangerous for being so wicked and having no mercy for an orphan. And I called for the UN Secretary General's resignation. Guess what happened? That was on Sunday. 2 days after Monday, the Supreme Court sat and they claimed that the next day, the 12th, they shall give a verdict on the vacant seat issue, which even of Parliament, which even innocent school children can understand. Yet they need a Supreme Court interpretation for that nonsense. Understand? So, because I contended with the UN Secretary General, they know that no. I've called for his release. The shame is coming. It's getting too much. They must fight back immediately. And in fighting back, you know what they did? They saw that I also fought back again, because on Tuesday morning, the 12th, Tuesday dawn, I've come with an anniversary video in memorial of Jerry John Rawlings. And then in the morning, I also reiterated the resignation call of Antonio Guterres. In the afternoon, quickly, the Supreme Court, in fighting back, came out with a treachery that they have had a vote on the vacant seat issue, and they have declared the Speaker's ruling, the Speaker of Parliament, invalid, unconstitutional, so that they will still get the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature in worship of the extremely dangerous US undercover to rob us of our franchise. At the same time, on that 12th of November 2024, they pushed the button to let the EC go quick. Go tell the Ghanaian people that Ekwadonko's running mate, Roman father, has been disqualified. However, they will not alter the positioning on the ballot, the presidential candidate position on the ballot. Because if they reduce it, God has shamed them. If they increase it, God has shamed them. So they have been hanged with their own cause of iniquity. Ghana, we shall continue, but we shall begin to think about the kind of death that they are telling us Ekwadonko died. God bless you. God bless our whole land. If it affects Ekwadonko, if it affects us all, bye-bye.